Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Hut 8 Mining. This is my favorite player in the crypto or Bitcoin mining space. We're going to be covering their September production and operational update and pulling out a couple of key pieces of information that caught my eye. Now before we get into that, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you thought about these pieces of news, if you're currently holding shares of Hut 8, and how you think they stack up to some of the other players in this space, specifically Bitfarms. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Hut 8 Mining Corporation. As many of you know who follow this channel closely, this is my #1 holding in my small cap or micro cap portfolio right now, or in my speculative stock bucket. Now, the reason I'm so bullish on Hut 8 Mining is I believe in the long-term underlying fundamentals of cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin market. And I think Hut 8, with their hold on for dear life strategy, is really in the perfect spot to capitalize on that exponential growth in the price of Bitcoin that I think we're going to see over the next couple of years. Now, Bitcoin was designed to be a hedge against inflation. There's a fixed cap on the number of Bitcoin, 21 million Bitcoin. Then you got to think of all the addresses and Bitcoin that have been lost over the years, which has got to be tens or even hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. So this is really a diminishing and fixed resource that I think people are going to start to want to hold as part of their overall financial plan. Now, the other reason I really like Hut 8 Mining is it's 100% focused here in Canada. They've got diversified revenue, which we've talked about on the channel previously and we'll touch on in today's video as well. But Canada, especially out west, is really trying to make a push into the tech and high-tech sector. I live in Calgary and I know local leadership is making a major push to attract these type of companies. So I think the laws and political landscape are going to be very favorable for high-tech crypto-related companies like Hut 8 Mining. And really the last reason I'm so excited about this ticker is because of the price. So you can see here, this is the Toronto listing under the ticker symbol HUT. Closed out, this is as of Friday, October 14th, down about 3% or 8 cents on the day to close out at 255 Canadian. And if you go back about a year, you guys, you can see Hut 8 Mining was actually trading in the $20 range. And this is back in November of 2021. And Hut 8 Mining was really a lot smaller company at that point in time and had only a fraction of the Bitcoin they do now on their balance sheet or reserve, which we're going to touch on in a couple of seconds here. Now, the article I wanted to cover in today's video is related to their production and operational update for the month of September. Now, I realize this is about 10 days old, you guys, but the focal point of the video really isn't on the production update. It's on some of the hidden or golden nuggets within this article. So here you can see they mined 277 Bitcoin during the month of September. So definitely starting to fall behind the pace at which Bitfarms has set with the increase we've seen in their hash rate over the last couple of quarters. However, if you look at their total reserve, this is all self-mined Bitcoin. Hut 8 is now sitting on 8,388 Bitcoin, as you saw in the thumbnail. Now that's the largest holding of self-mined Bitcoin of any publicly traded company in the world right now, to my knowledge, you guys. And this is really what's so exciting about this organization, is if and when we start to see those Bitcoin prices return to 70, 80, 90, $100,000 US, companies like Hut 8 Mining are going to see their market cap absolutely explode. And you pair that in with some call option contracts to really leverage that thesis out, and that could result in some major life-changing money here. Now, I currently hold about 43 call option contracts between Hut 8 Mining and Bitfarms, so I'm trying to kind of hedge my bet and play both sides of the fence. So let's say I'm currently sitting on about 20 contracts of Hut 8 Mining. I paid on average anywhere from $2 to $4 for each contract. So you times that by 100 because an option contract controls 100 shares. So I'm paying on average about $300 per contract, multiplied out by 20 contracts. So I have about $6,000 in Hut 8 Mining call options right now. And if we even see a return to what we saw back in November of 2021, where the share price was trading around $20, I'm going to be looking at an average of about $1,500 profit per contract times 20 contracts, you guys. That's about $30,000 for a $6,000 initial bet. So a 500% return. And again, I've been buying these call option contracts for quite some time. So I was paying a lot more than what you're actually able to pick up these contracts for today. Now, all of my options are dated for either January of 2024 or January of 2025 to give me enough time. A little bit concerned about the 2024 time period just based on the macroeconomic environment. But if we start to see some calming in the interest rate hikes and the geopolitical tension in Europe, I think we could really start to see a drastic move to the upside. The January 2025 call options give me plenty of time, and those are ones I'm still currently buying today. So if we now scroll down into the production update, you can see they mined about 9.2 Bitcoin per day. They're continuing to maintain their HODL or hold on for dear life strategy in keeping 100% of the Bitcoin that they mined in the month, which is a stark comparison to Bitfarms, which actually sold more Bitcoin. I think 544 Bitcoin were sold, and they only produced something in the 450 range. So they're not only selling everything they're mining in month, they're actually depleting their stockpile of their reserve as well. And that's one of the major criticisms I've now seen from people talking about Bitfarms is even if the price of Bitcoin does recover in a big way, they're going to be in a less optimal position to take advantage of that move because they're actually depleting their Bitcoin reserves. So that's one of the main reasons I really like Hut 8 Mining. Now the question really comes down to how long will this take and how long can Hut 8 Mining sustain this strategy with the depressed Bitcoin prices. Now they also consolidated most of their miners at their Medicine Hat, again located in Alberta, Canada location, which increased their hash rate efficiency by 11%, so that was great. Installed capacity is now sitting just north of 3 exahash per second. And one of the key takeaways here to call out, they actually produced 90.2 Bitcoin in the form of Ethereum in September. However, as many of you know, Ethereum went through their merge to proof of stake during that month. So now Bitfarms really isn't able to continue mining for Ethereum that they then convert to Bitcoin. And this is a major opportunity that I actually talked about with Sue Ennis, who's the VP of Operations on my channel a couple of months ago. What is their plan once Ethereum goes to proof of stake instead of proof of work? And Sue had said they're going to continue to evaluate options to mine for the next most valuable digital asset or coin. So that'll be interesting to see. I think it will cause a little bit of a hiccup in their overall operations. Their Ethereum to Bitcoin conversion was one of the cheapest or lowest input cost mining strategies that Hut 8 had. So it's definitely going to be a little hiccup in their overall operations, but it may present a great opportunity down the road. Now, the other thing that was bearish here for the month of September, they had unseasonably warm weather, which is good for me. No snow yet in the city of Calgary. However, if you're trying to mine Bitcoin, that's not great. Also, the global energy supply chain challenge, which is causing energy prices to go up. So the team at Hut 8 actually curtailed operations or slowed down to mitigate some of these bearish catalysts. Now, in addition to that, production at North Bay was interrupted mid-month due to some ventilation issues, so another concern from the team at Hut 8 this month. However, to end things on a good note, they did hold their first Analyst Day presentation September 20th at their flagship data center in Kelowna, BC. So that's part of their high performance computing data center portfolio. I actually lived out in Kelowna for 10 years. So again, great to see high-tech businesses coming to Western Canada. And during that presentation, they did a site tour and discussed their digital asset mining and HPC or high performance computing strategy. So overall, I think that'll bring more attention to this company, more investor dollars, and ultimately help drive the share price up. Now, with that being said, a couple other key points I wanted to quickly touch on before we end the presentation. Another key differentiator for me really is the management team here at Hut 8 Mining. So Jamie Leverton has a ton of experience. She's the CEO in the high-tech space. She's got a lot of connections in these type of industries. Sue Ennis, super well-spoken, VP of Corporate Development. Go on YouTube, you guys, search for her name, and you'll see a ton of very strong interviews conducted across all various different type of channels. So Sue is someone who knows the business inside and out, which is extremely encouraging. I left that conversation feeling very confident with my investment. And then next to those two, really an all-star cast here of people who believe in the long-term fundamental strength of the crypto market and have a ton of experience and connections that Hut 8 can leverage to help this organization grow. Now, location, location, location. This is another key differentiator for me I mentioned in the intro. So you can see their diversified revenue. They've got mining operations and data center, HPC, Web3, and gaming focused revenue. And the new one on here, the repair center. So an authorized repair center for their mining equipment, again in Medicine Hat, Alberta. So 3 operations in Alberta, 3 in BC, and the rest are the other 4, including their headquarters based in Ontario. So as long as Canada continues to attract high-tech crypto-focused companies and our laws and regulation towards this industry, which is really very similar to the oil and gas industry, continue to function and operate as they do today, I really think their Canadian-focused operations is a massive plus for this stock. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on is, again, the hold on for dear life strategy. This is the number one reason I love Hut 8 Mining, you guys. You can see unencumbered Bitcoin stack of over 8,000 Bitcoin. That's prior to September's edition. They've got that continued bullish outlook on Bitcoin, which really anyone investing in these stocks or working in this industry should have. And they make a very interesting comparison here. When you look at Bitcoin compared to other asset classes like gold, global equities, and global fixed income, Bitcoin is really just in its very infancy. So you can see the market cap of Bitcoin at $371 billion. Even compared to gold, which is second, it represents only a couple percent, so 3.2%. And if you compare it to global equities, stocks around the world, 0.3% along with global fixed income. And then they provide some interesting stats. So if Bitcoin was to get up to 7% of the market cap of gold, you'd be looking at a Bitcoin price of about $42,000 US. And if Bitcoin was able to get up to 20% of the market cap of gold, you'd be looking at $119,000 US per Bitcoin. Now, I personally think Bitcoin will be bigger than gold one day. So when you start to look at those numbers, you guys, that's why I hold some core shares of this company as well, because there's no expiration there and I want to hold them for the long run. But I start to get really excited about this investment opportunity. And again, this is part of my higher risk penny stock or small cap portfolio. So I definitely wouldn't recommend you make crypto miners your number one play across all of your accounts, but this is definitely one that represents my biggest position in that specific portfolio. Now, with that being said, I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts on the crypto and Bitcoin market overall. Which of these crypto miners is your favorite and why? How do you think Hut 8 compares to Bitfarms? And what's your strategy over the next couple of months? Do you think we've found bottom, or is there still more pain to come? If you're still watching the video at this point in time, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. We just crossed the 12,000 subscriber milestone, and it's so exciting continuing to see this community grow. Now, with that being said, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.